16 afterlives. Line 5, sport air to ash and ash to air. The sport here goes with the electricity and energy of metal settle, which is the heaven of sophisticated social technological fun. Line 6, lawyer and lawyer. Flame healing, work. The lawyer and lawyer relates to poets being the unacknowledged legislators of the world, Percy Bysshe Shelley's line from A Defense of Poetry. Therefore, as poets is implied here, it reflects the afterlife of willows waving, the heaven of angels who write. Line 7, wife slapping stinks, what a jerk. The insulting content of this line represents the heavenly afterlife of Headbuttressiah, which is where the millions of murdered children from the Holocaust now live as happy angel ghosts. But they have poor memories and also sometimes insults fly, so it is the job of other angels who go there to help them learn even richer things. They look just like us, as children, women, and men adults, and Headbuttressiah is their planet which looks exactly like Earth but it is not Earth. Line 8, already best of falling apples, ratios fair. This best here relates to praying to God, the best, to whom the solitary angels of machine cloud pray and praise in their bliss with their own sets of angels within them who guide them further. Line 9, tap, tap, cowbell, a place to read. The place to read here represents the lands in M.O.A.T, a heaven where angels simply read all of the time in bliss and at their best. Line 10, a place to read, why not? Tap, tap, tap. This read in this line goes best with the heaven of super university, where angels read at times, why not, but do other activities even though they know it all, but still appreciate surprising and being surprised by each other. Line 11, the healing work, breaking, steep a nap. The work here reflects the work of spiritual doctor angels in the heaven of stay friends. Line 12, of air to ash and ash to air feed. The feed here and the air makes this line a match with the angel bird heaven of gold mold. Line 13, starry springs silver bewitch the dance. The dance here goes with the afterlife heaven where angels play awesome music, room boom. Line 14, thy breath wins the day of a reprobance. Here there is a sense of judgment which reflects the heaven of warm milk, a place where the angels rule over and can control humans on earth, even though the humans may not be aware of it. Angel Penelope with me. The Invention of Unsurpassability. From Hawaiian Sonnets and Other Poems. Sonnet 29, with commentary. Terrible, but, TV Sheba cycles. The blue rose of a rogue ass play. School blue fun, repeat, lay. Arrows open God's gates, aerial lulls. Fall lanky branch, surface ancient state. Cuddle hunger poet, reflect a hurt. Rosalind supreme, den of water, comfort. Highest widest Cleopatra late. Pumpkin, buttered bread, meet a spooner. Many-hued poems, gimme the shock. Reflective hurt with a Coca-Cola hawk. The ancient state, the weirdo schooner. The whirling cycles of persons plain. Rogue ass play, comic couple, rain. Line 1, terrible, but, TV Sheba cycles. How does the phrase terrible, but, T.V function to blocked me? Answer, the phrase mother, where's the T.V makes it so that blocked me cannot simultaneously envision both terrible and mother at the same time. How do Sheba cycles block him? Answer, the whirling cycles of persons plain makes it so that blocked me cannot see both Sheba, a thrilling person, and any plain person as the same. It goes against his logic of perception. Line 2, the blue rose of a rogue ass play. How does blue rose block him? Answer, school blue fun makes it difficult for blocked me to have both rose as in the sunset and school because usually school is in the early day while the rosy sunset is at night. How does rogue ass play block him? Answer, play thou with daffodils is the counter phrase which makes it hard to imagine both the roughness of something or someone as a rogue and at the same time a delicate daffodil. Line 3, school blue fun, repeat, lay. How does repeat, lay blocked me? Answer, wife, idly lying makes it so that repeat and idleness are at odds, one being an action and one being a rest from action. Line 4, arrows open God's gates, Ariel lulls. The arrows here relates to our book, Angels and Arrows. Open matches with string of type pen my ears. God relates to the time Tob Shbib, my angel wife pretended for a week she was Hashem, and so I believed that I was talking to God for a while there, several years back. Gates goes with the idea of crossing the line like a portal or gate. The crossing of the line is an invisible crack in the sidewalk outside my apartment building on the sidewalk which, when crossed, sends you back to another time and place. Ariel is also one of my angel wives, the one who represents charity. Lulz is a quote AB, who is one of my angel mothers who mentions often in the line by Walt Whitman who wanted only to hear the lull of your valved voice. Line 5, Fall lanky branch, surface ancient state. Fall time borders contrasts and therefore blocked me as he cannot conceive both cases of borders as of the horizon, and the branch which is on a tree close by. Surface goes with our book, the swelling surface, poems. Ancient goes with ancient a while state goes with our book, 254 state observations. Line 6, Cuddle hunger poet, reflect a hurt. Cuddle hunger poet contrasts with the mother poet tells me, no. The contrast between cuddle and the no which is a rejection is what blocked me. Reflect a hurt goes with my book, They Are Human Too which describes how different pains I am supposedly supposed to have for mistakenly being punished for being bad, which I am not. Line 7, Rosalind Supreme, Den of Water, Comfort. Rosalind though a character in Shakespeare's As You Like It is also the name of a wonderful and supreme angel mother of mine, but with an A, Rosalinda. Her job of MOAT 36 is to test people. The Den of Water is a flood which contrasts to the line Dress a water loop. The loop is a cycle but not a place, a den. Angel honey comforts me. Line 8, Highest widest Cleopatra late. The highest widest contrasts to the line The Falcon old, high a staring is back up there. This blocked me because he cannot think of the falcon as widest as say the sky or the ocean may be. Cleopatra is found as a character we commented on in our book, Our Emotions Are the Thoughts of Shakespeare, which is a line paying homage to Owen Barnfield via Harold Bloom's memory. Late is that time which is a match for pass the late, worm which is a pun for the drink, late. Line 9, Pumpkin, buttered bread, meet a spooner dash. Lines which this entire line matches with are. Winter pumpkins. The butter bread hacked. And power our meeting. Divine gummy odor on the knife of a cook, similar knife to spoon. Line 10, Many-hued poems, gimme the shock. Lines related. Hued heart hated as our fear of blisters. Wandering through poems fit. Gift not good brassy diamond, diamond book. Pop fruit eternal, pop as shock. Line 11, Reflective hurt with a Coca-Cola hawk. Related lines. Of mirror born for a heart gulped jolt. Wounds please women, from our book, Ache Us Not, a volume of sonnets. The jester best love flowers yes and pop. The butter bread hacked. Line 12, The Ancient State, the weirdo schooner. Related lines. Farewell flood yellow, ancient A. Texas, Texas clap the leaves on. The fish joint poor, weird all do seem. Ships of water, ships of air spinning. Line 13, The whirling cycles of persons plain. Related lines. With a bitter whirl. Cycles loved and we will stay. A person is free to sink when old. Many deserts to die in for a dunk. Line 14, Rogue ass play, comic couple, rain. Related lines. Laugh atop the first mountain steep. Lost a pair. Mother shore fatherhood reigns. Angel ora Tifarito with me. The Invention of Unsurpassability. From Hawaiian Sonnets and Other Poems. Sonnet 30, with commentary. Make a car battle the dish dear word. Hear wind. Mechanical seaman shout. Call me forgetful, dish, blind out. Look at the new ignorance, check me thunderbird. Cine car engine, me villain's dear word. Block out the batter jaguar by me dear word. Columbus bring, a weird turn, me cap offered. Ruin me date all, for all is assured. Knock acrostic, ring impudent. Ringing impudently to one Gnostic. Knock batter jaguar, dear word acrostic. Troll his villain's dear pissy word comment. Dish blind out, me date ruined me date. Battle thee, dish, dear word of thy fate. Line 1, Make a car battle the dish dear word. In our system of the banana tree where we study 5 main authors of world literature perpetually, the J. Writer, of the Torah, Homer, Plato, Shakespeare, and Freud. We will read each of these lines the following way. The 14 afterlives are represented by every line as well as elements of the first author in the banana tree study session, the J writer. This line relates to the afterlife of golf and therefore to the part of the Bible with the golden calf, since golf goes with that part. Spiritual golf and that passage in the Bible deal with a conflict which is something each somewhat share, a battle of views and perspectives. Line 2, hear wind. Mechanical seaman shout. This line relates to the heaven of gold mold and therefore to the passage in the Bible which is the story of Hagar and Sarah. Line 3, call me forgetful, dish, blind out. This line relates to the heaven of head buttressiah and therefore to the passage in the Bible of the flood. Line 4, look at the new ignorance, check me thunderbird. This line matches with the heaven of warm milk and the passage of Joseph saving Egypt from the famine. Line 5, sinny car engine, me villain's dear word. This line relates to the heaven of willows waving and the passage in the Bible of Babylon. Line 6, block out the batter jaguar by me dear word. This line goes with the heaven of stay friends and the passage in the Bible of Sodom and Gomorrah. Line 7, Columbus bring a weird turn, me cap offered. This line relates to the heaven of metal settle and the passage in the Torah where Joseph is sold by his brothers into slavery. Line 8, ruin me date all, for all is assured. This line goes with the heaven of super university and the passage in the Torah where Adam and Eve are exiled. Line 9, knock, knock acrostic, ring impudent. This line goes with the heaven of charades and the passage in the Torah where the charioteers drown in the Red Sea. Line 10, ringing impudently to one Gnostic. This line goes with the heaven of machine cloud and the parallel passage in the Bible of Esau's lost blessing. Line 11, knock batter jaguar, dear word acrostic. This line goes with the heaven of room boom and the part of the Bible of Noah's curse. Line 12, troll his villain's pissy word comment. This line goes with the heaven of baby Hawaii and the part of the Bible of Jacob working for Laban. Line 13, dish blind out, me date ruined me date. This line goes with the heaven of the lands and m.o.a.t and the passage in the Torah of Moses and the promised land. Line 14, battle thee, dish, dear word of thy fate. This line goes with the heaven of grey curtained piano and the passage in the Bible where Jacob wrestles the anonymous angel. All of these afterlives as well as the parallel instances from passages in the Bible serve to explain to blocked me how and why he is being blocked from writing better than Hawaiian sonnets. Angel grouchy with me. The Invention of Unsurpassability. From Hawaiian Sonnets and Other Poems. Sonnet 31, with commentary. Jazz might get a rest, rock arc. Model A coming doll, void drunk crimson. Wine fits into silvery tsimtsum. The blessed custard, mothered memory, hark. Sit, betray, silver spin limited slave. The jewel, to be moon's smile built for power. Follow leak, wine, dancing flower. Custard mothering memory idle grave. The grassy eating neath a starry star. A starry star above a grass eating. Moon build a smile, and power our meeting. The limited slave sitting star afar. Void, drunk crimson, make wine violet. Our arc rests, jazzy arc, fly co-pilot. Line 1, jazz might get a rest, rock arc. This line represents the heaven of room boom, of angel musicians, as well as the passage in Homer's Iliad where Zeus makes threats to all. Line 2, model A coming doll, void drunk crimson. This line represents the heaven of super university as well as the passage in Homer's Iliad of Diomedes' axe. Line 3, wine fits into silvery tsimtsum. This line represents the heaven of stay friends, spiritual angel doctors, as well as the passage in Homer's Iliad about the plague of Apollo. Line 4, the blessed custard, mothered memory, hark. This line connects to the heaven of gold mold as well as the war in Homer's Iliad. Line 5, sit, betray, silver spin limited slave. This line connects to the heaven of the lands and m.o.a.t as well as the part in Homer's Iliad about Ulysses bullying. Line 6, the jewel, to be moon's smile built for power. This line connects to warm milk as well as Patroclus' death, in Homer's Iliad. Line 7, follow leak, wine, dancing flower. This line represents the heaven of metal settle while at the same time paralleling the capture of Briseis by Agamemnon from Achilles, Iliad. Line 8, custard mothering memory idol grave. This line connects to the heaven of charades as well as the passage where the Greek ships are in danger of being burnt up by the Trojans, Iliad. Line 9, the grassy eating neath a starry star. This line represents the heaven of golf while also representing Achilles sitting out the war in the Iliad. Line 10, a starry star above a grass eating. This line represents the heaven of head buttressiah and also the concept of the feeling of shame in the Iliad. Line 11, moon build a smile, and power our meeting. This line represents the heavenly afterlife of baby Hawaii while simultaneously representing Agamemnon being insulted by Achilles, Iliad. Line 12, the limited slave sitting star afar. This line connects to the heaven of grey curtained piano and also to the passage of the death of Hector, Iliad. Line 13, void, drunk crimson, make wine violet. This line represents the afterlife which some go to called willows waving, angel riders, as well as the reason for the Trojan War, which is that Paris stole away Helen to Troy. Line 14, our ark rests, jazzy ark, fly co-pilot. This line represents the heaven of machine cloud as well as represents the giving back to Chryses his daughter, Chryses. Angel honey with me. The invention of unsurpassability. From Hawaiian Sonnets and Other Poems. Sonnet 32, with commentary. The moonshine doth circle, old dear. Fearsome snow dying fast lost me. A horizon's sun organizing height clearly. The room's lightning luck never will shear. Men drifting no more ever so close. The fish joint poor, weird all do seem. Dope world, holy halakim. Pot, ha. Watering, hose. Music prim and naughty wild. Warty car, go away, wart roll, ahh. Double date, terrible, herbig pot, ha. Halakim the thick fears of a child. The coughing bride enables the game. Cough dumb old knight with a golden aim. Line 1, the moonshine doth circle, old dear. This phrase the moonshine doth circle and the phrase from another part in the verse moon build a smile work against each other, which is the pattern for blocking, as circle is opposite a shape as smile. Say for example, blocked me were to try and write a poem with moon, it is already in his memory that he would have to pair this word moon up with either a fullness, circle, or a crescent shape, a smile. There is a problem now. He could choose to do neither and speak of the moon some other way. Let me try an example of the dilemma Hawaiian Sonnets versus presence upon blocked me. Circle is also as cycle, being that the moon cycles when night both its shape and its place in the night sky. On the other hand, smile is not just a shape but a sign of happiness. So fullness cannot be happiness by this logic ultimately since, by extension, what the fullness represents is circle and because a circle cannot be a smile it cannot be a happiness being that the circle is the full moon too. Old dear presents the same problem when paired against the line a meal for an old soul hath been made, although a soul can be dear to somebody, look at the multiple meanings closer. Dear is the sign of a beginning of a letter, dear Mr. Smith, but as a beginning, it represents an earliness, which the counter phrase goes against with its old, which is late and not a beginning. Line 2. Fearsome snow dying fast lost me. The fearsome snow dying counteracts the other phrase dying in the years ahead soon. Fear and years are at odds because the fear in the first phrase is present, while the years in the second is not yet, but will be. Go deeper. Fear as we all know also means awe, and years has been known to represent the future since in this case the years are ahead. If awe is ahead then the awe in the present cannot serve to lend blocked me the energy which it promises to have in the future, a future which will never come because it stays, by virtue of the phrase, always ahead soon. Line 3, a horizon's sun organizing height clearly. The phrase a horizon's sun goes against the phrase the father knows the sun drinks because horizon is at the distance while knows or knowledge is right now here. So if blocked me were to try to write with knowledge he would have to better the craftsmanship with knowledge, a knowledge of just what to do to write another Hawaiian sonnets, but that knowledge is impossible. Here's why. Because a hypothetical new Hawaiian sonnets could be on the horizon, he still cannot have the knowledge of what to do for it since writing always takes place in the time and space of the present moment, and not the horizon of the future. Similarly, the organizing height clearly clashes blocked me's desires because of the other phrase here clear the doors. The height is a verticality while the doors is a horizontally. It just is the case that they cannot be the same. Line 4, the room's lightning luck never will shear. The phrase the room's lightning works to foil and spoil the phrase here room boom and, yes, they are both events of a storm, a lightning and a boom, but look closer. The lightning is a bolt, while a boom can be an explosion, and even a microphone stand. To bolt is to run off quickly, while to explode is to destroy something. Running off makes it impossible for blocked me to destroy. If, for example, blocked me wanted to bolt like lightning away from Hawaiian sonnets and do his own thing, which would be to imitate Hawaiian sonnets' originality, he cannot, since he must also destroy it, and this works against his wishes to preserve it so as to copy its originality. The phrase luck never will shear is at odds with the never-ending spring because luck and spring cannot fit in the same mind at once. Here's why. A spring is also a happiness in one's step. It is like a dance, but a luck is a good thing too, but it has more to do about surprise and dependency. Spring as in one's step is independent, the dancer controls it, while luck is given to one is dependent upon it. And so, if blocked me were to write independently poems, they would have to be not dependent upon Hawaiian sonnets for their inspiration, which is impossible because they already are inspired by the book. Line 5, men drifting no more ever so close. The phrase men drifting no more works against whether the water you pale drift dog because dog is not man. Can a dog write Hawaiian sonnets? If so, blocked me would have to relate to one, which he cannot, being a man not drifting. The phrase ever so close clashes against see to so again will so find since the sea is both close and far not just close. Line 6, the fish joint poor, weird all do seem. The phrase fish joint poor matches fishy money much ado while weird all do seem matches Columbus bring a weird turn. Line 7, dope world, holy halakim. The phrase dope world matches worldwide good morning while holy halakim matches holy fools pull this gold. Line 8, pot, ha. Watering, hose. The phrase pot, ha. belongs with laugh, atop the first mountain steep while watering, hose goes with and a watering, billy. Line 9, music prim and naughty wild. The phrase music prim goes with the phrase bad music die while the phrase naughty wild matches the under the walls of the wild. Line 10, warty car, go away, wart roll, ahh. The line warty car, go away matches the phrase make a car battle the dish dear word. Line 11, double date, terrible, herbig pot, ha. The phrase double date, terrible matches the phrase me date ruined me date while the herbig pot, ha, goes with ha, as if you experience it too. Line 12, hey lakim the thick fears of a child. The phrase hey lakim the thick fears of a child matches with children talking of their periods. Line 13, the coughing bride enables the game. The phrase the coughing bride matches with the phrase cough dumb old night while enables the game goes with the serpent parents therefore win the day. Line 14, cough dumb old night with a golden aim. And, the golden aim phrase matches the holy fools pull this gold phrase. Angel Jennifer with me. The Invention of Unsurpassability. From Hawaiian Sonnets and Other Poems. Sonnet 33, with commentary. Are you in water, are you drunk? Bad music die. It is poorly roped. The liverleaf's hedges bud had op-ed. Many deserts to die in for a dunk. Falling hinges, one honey on the tuft. Wishy wig. Arrow, how to hole. So dire. How do wet nomads look at the fire? Ladies spinning giddy, loosely roughed. Starry wild notebooks end work slide. Starry wild notebooks drunk end work. But more outside, work or lurk. Poorly roped music, but more outside. Pen more little hayam, nut not. One honey on the tuft not to be taught. Line 1, are you in water, are you drunk? This line relates to the afterlife of Grey-Curtained Piano, Shakespeare's play Hamlet and Plato's dialogue, Meno. Line 2, bad music die. It is poorly roped. This line relates to the afterlife of Room Boom, Shakespeare's play Coriolanus and the theme of injustice versus justice in Plato's dialogues. Line 3, the liver-leaf's hedges bud had op-ed. This line relates to the afterlife of Machine Cloud, Shakespeare's play, King Lear, and the character Thrasymachus in Plato's Republic. Line 4, many deserts to die in for a dunk. This line relates to the afterlife of golf, Shakespeare's play, Timon of Athens, and Plato wishing to exile the poets from his Republic Utopia. Line 5, falling hinges, one honey on the tuft. His line relates to the afterlife of the lands in M.O.A.T, Shakespeare's play, Macbeth, and Plato's story of the cave in his Republic. Line 6, wishy wig. Arrow, how to hole. So dire. This line relates to the heaven of gold mold, Shakespeare's play, Titus Andronicus, and the trial of Socrates. Line 7, how do wet nomads look at the fire. This line relates to the heaven of charades, Shakespeare's play, Antony and Cleopatra, and Ion's humiliation in Plato's dialogue, Ion. Line 8, ladies spinning giddy, loosely roughed. This line relates to the afterlife of Headbutt Trasiah, Shakespeare's play, Richard II, and Plato's suspicions of rhetoric, the art of persuasion. Line 9, starry wild notebooks end work slide. This line relates to the afterlife of Metal Settle, Shakespeare's play, Troilus and Cressida, and Socrates in prison. Line 10, starry wild notebooks drunk end work. This line relates to the afterlife of Super University, to Shakespeare's play, Richard III, and to Plato's rule that whoever is to enter his academy, that they must know geometry. Line 11, but more outside, work or lurk. This line relates to the afterlife of Stay Friends, to Shakespeare's play, Julius Caesar, and to Socrates' death. Line 12, poorly roped music, but more outside. This line relates to the afterlife of warm milk, to Shakespeare's play, Romeo and Juliet, and to Plato's and Socrates' notion of the unexamined life, which is not worth living. Line 13, pen more little hayam, nut not. This line relates to the afterlife of willows waving, to Shakespeare's play, Othello, and to the theme of ignorance versus knowledge in Plato's dialogues. Line 14, one honey on the tuft not to be taught. This line relates to the afterlife of baby Hawaii, to Shakespeare's play, King John, and to the theme of ugliness versus beauty in Plato's dialogues. Angel grouchy with me. The Invention of Unsurpassability. From Hawaiian Sonnets and Other Poems. Sonnet 34, with commentary. Face and blink at the silvery rain. It's outwilled, a parting marriage. The room steals our freedom in its carriage. Ring, ring the sirens and the drain. The billows stain the heart of sand. Poor, twisty music, back in the glen. Strings of time to my ears open. The world's blue falls on the land. Texas, Texas, clap the leaves on. The impatient home is found to fall. Asia passes while I lie in thrall. Visionary airy shells of the lawn. Master look away, breathe and swish. The mediocre dining, not my wish. Line 1, face and blink at the silvery rain. This line relates to the death of Hector in the Iliad by Homer, and to the act of mourning in Freud's work. Grey curtained piano. Line 2, it's outwilled, a parting marriage. This line relates to Breccius in the Iliad, and to the nightmares in Freud's The Interpretation of Dreams. Metal Settle. Line 3, the room steals our freedom in its carriage. This line relates to the plague of Apollo in the Iliad, and to the notion of the tribal father in Totem and Taboo by Freud. Stay friends. Line 4, ring, ring the sirens and the drain. This line relates to the event of war in the Iliad, and to the superego of Freud's writings. Gold mold. Line 5, the billows stain the heart of sand. This line relates to Patroclus' death in the Iliad, and to melancholia in Freud's essay Mourning and Melancholia. Warm milk. Line 6, poor, twisty music, back in the glen. This line relates to Zeus' threats in the Iliad, and to the ID in Freud's book, The Ego and the ID. Room boom. Line 7, strings of time to my ears open. This line relates to the concept of shame in Homer's Iliad, and to religion as illusion in Freud's book, The Future of an Illusion. Headbutt Trasiah. Line 8, the world's blue falls on the land. This line relates to the ships in danger of the Iliad, and to the neurosis of paranoia in Freud's writings. Charades. Line 9, Texas, Texas, clap the leaves on. This line relates to Helen lost to Paris in the Iliad, and to sexual jealousy in Freud's books. Willows waving. Line 10, the impatient home is found to fall. This line relates to Chryses and his daughter in the Iliad, and to the fear of castration theme in an outline of psychoanalysis of Freud. Machine cloud. Line 11, Asia passes while I lie in thrall. This line relates to Ulysses bullying Thersites in the Iliad, and to the defense of Freud that the psychoanalyst deserves to charge a fee. The lands and MOAT. Line 12, visionary airy shells of the lawn. This line relates to Achilles sitting out the war in the Iliad, and to Freud seeing poetry as a flaw of the human mind. Golf. Line 13, master look away, breathe and swish. This line relates to Agamemnon insulted by Achilles in the Iliad, and to Freud's notion that the patient must learn to develop love again if she or he is to be cured. Baby Hawaii. Line 14, the mediocre dining, not my wish. This line relates to the acts of Diomedes, in the Iliad, and to the many tribal taboos in Freud's book, Totem and Taboo. Super University. Angel Thrickbot with me. The Invention of Unsurpassability. From Abraham's poem, The Wandering. Section 1. God only wandered. Committed me into darkness. Wherever I, for one, honored breathe fire. Voyaging old thee. The pretty gold societies are resting. Afraid of evil. The secretive seashores have been named and licked of heaven. The knotted knots are severe characters that nobody can win, being that I, heaven destroyed, live somewhere poor. The suction of a flying mistress again made the goblins mean, so mean. I lost access to a climate fairly. The bill matter aside, it's chaotic for every damsel who is atopped in a dream as a whore. A dialogue is best to thee from thou. Thus the knots were not now romantic. Kwana. The toiletry bad, thus pleasurefully clear. A painful graveyard is trap shut. The atmosphere one that a butcher feels pleasant and compounded. Of whose saga 'tis he missed. Bring the fling. The sea waters roll. A pathway that drinks up a core of separated heart. Cockles. The burn made the shine. Farther out glow dimmer. My throat noosed selfishness and reasonableness is it. Farewell to the outside far, farther, farthest. The cradle of winter sun, ha! Back into the king's and queen's old glen. Soon a bloom wilting thus. Perfect for a lady, ha! The admiring doth befit the gals. Who doth sway? Line 1, God only wandered. Committed me into darkness. The phrase God only wandered is at odds with the phrase elsewhere Ariel opened God's gates because for blocked me to wander at the same time as being admitted through the gates is impossible. The phrase committed me into darkness is at odds with the phrase elsewhere me date ruined me date because the committed here will turn out to be a good action, while ruining is not. Line 2, wherever I, for one, honored breathe fire. The phrase honored breathe fire is at odds with the phrase one vessel God honors is known to be you, Son, since a vessel here is not on fire. Line 3, voyaging old thee. The phrase voyaging old here is at odds with the phrase a meal for an old soul at night hath been made because mostly people stay in at night and do not go out voyaging. Line 4, the pretty gold societies are resting. Afraid of evil. The phrase pretty gold societies here is at odds with the pretty work put in later because societies include their members now and not later since to be a member already of a community of a society, you must already be put in it, not later. The phrase resting afraid of evil goes against here go people evil since to go is not to rest. Line 5, the secretive seashores have been named and licked of heaven. The phrase secretive seashores is at odds with say one dear, it's no secret since one is singular and seashores is plural. The phrase named and licked clean of heaven goes against the phrase a heavenly sight since a sight means that something is being seen, while clear makes it not seen. Line 6, the knotted knots are severe characters that nobody can win, being that I, heaven destroyed, live somewhere poor. The phrase knotted knots is at odds with nut not because the knotted describes the knots while the nut is not described because it is not a nut. The phrase severe characters goes against God truly deals characters because God in this poem is not severe but rather more loving than powerful. The heaven destroyed phrase goes against a heavenly sight for the similar reason as stated above. The phrase I live somewhere poor is at odds with poor each mist because the mist goes away which home remains. Line 7, the suction of a flying mistress. Again made the goblins mean, so mean. The phrase suction of a flying mistress works against the phrase no a crooked flying strike because a mistress is not crooked. The phrase made the goblins mean works against the phrase hear the goblins, since the goblins are either present or not because one cannot hear them yet. Line 8, I lost access to a climate fairly. The bill matter aside. The phrase lost access to a climate fairly works against lost a pair because the pair, Adam and Eve, were not fair to their rules for staying. The bill matter aside is at odds with Keter matter falls our feelings uphill since because of the irony of the presence/absence dilemma. Line 9, it's chaotic for every damsel who is atopped in a dream as a whore. The chaotic for every damsel is at odds in perspective with God's storm, pass by dear because of the dilemma of turning against the self versus reversal. Harold Bloom's terms from his book, A Map of Misreading. The phrase in a dream as a whore goes against sweet dream arranger because the whore, low, clashes with sweet, high. The clash is known as hyperbole, or repression. Line 10, a dialogue is best to thee from thou. The phrase a dialogue is best clashes against already best of falling apples because the dialogue, presence, is at odds against the falling, away, absence. This clash is an irony, or reaction formation. Line 11, thus the knots were not now romantic. Kwana. The toiletry bad, thus pleasurefully clear. The phrase the knots were not now romantic goes against the apples now shallow because romantic, high, goes against shallow, low, making this clash a hyperbole, or repression. The toiletry bad goes against the phrase bad music die since music, high, is at odds with toiletry, low. The phrase pleasurefully clear is at odds with clear thy doors because one is a pleasantry, reversal, and one a command, turning against the self. The clash is a symbolic one of the tension between part and whole. Line 12, a painful graveyard is trap shut. The phrase a painful graveyard is at odds with painful heaven stuffed tunes since a graveyard, low, is at odds with heaven, high. The phrase trap shut works against rude door shut for a goblin because trap, inside, goes against shutting the goblin out rudely, outside. This clash is metaphorical, that is also of the defense mechanism of sublimation. Line 13, the atmosphere one that a butcher feels pleasant and compounded. The phrase the atmosphere one goes against one sad universe because atmosphere, a part, is at odds with universe, the whole. This clash is symbolic and represents the Freudian defense mechanism of turning against the self and reversal. The phrase a butcher feels pleasant and compounded works against the pound weeping on the arms, the babe since weeping, low, is not pleasant, high. This is the clash of hyperbole, and is the defense mechanism of repression. Line 14, of whose saga 'tis he missed. The phrase saga 'tis he missed works against the phrase poor each missed because saga, fullness, clashes with poor, emptiness, and therefore the clash represents both the figure of speech of the metonymy and the defense of undoing, isolation, and regression. Line 15 bring the fling. The sea waters roll. The phrase bring the fling and bringing to you raspberries for the feast makes at odds the fling, lateness, bitterness, and raspberries, earliness, sweetness, which makes the clash both transsumptive, as well as the defense mechanisms of projection and introjection. The sea waters roll goes against reveal a mountain tall, o sea since waters, low, is at odds with mountain, high. That clash is one of hyperbole, which is the Freudian defense of repression. Line 16, a pathway that drinks up a core of separated heart. Cockles. The phrase a pathway that drinks up a core is at odds with the father knows the son drinks because pathway, outside, is at odds with knows, inside, which means that this clash is the one of metaphor, and the Freudian defense mechanism of sublimation. The phrase separated heart cockles is turned against the phrase good, all separated because cockles, part, is turned against the all, whole. This is the clash of symbolism, which is a turning against the self and a reversal in Freudian terms. Line 17. The burn made the shine farther out glow dimmer. The phrase the burn made the shine goes against the made a crooked bow because burn, lateness, is at odds with rain, bow, earliness. This is the opposition of transumption, or metalepsis, which is the projection and introjection opposition of Freud. The phrase farther out glow dimmer is at odds with far, farther, farthest because glow, presence, opposes farthest, absence. Line 18. My throat noosed selfishness and reasonableness is it. The throat noosed selfishness and reasonableness goes against 5 nooses to the deaf she bothers because selfishness, high, opposes bothers, low. Line 19. Farewell to the outside far, farther, farthest. The farewell to the outside opposes farewell to her eyes because outside, outside, opposes eye here, inside. Line 20. The cradle of winter sun, ha. The cradle of winter sun opposes winter pumpkins since sun, high, opposes pumpkins, low, which makes this opposition of hyperbole and regression. Line 21. Back into the kings and queen's old glen. The kings and queen's old glen opposes the queen's neck thorns under trusted birds since neck, high, opposes old glen, low. Line 22. Soon a bloom wilting thus. Perfect for a lady, ha. The perfect for a lady opposes lady fish forbid my ray because perfect, high, opposes forbid, low. Line 23. The admiring doth befit the gals who doth sway. The gals who doth sway opposes a flood of flowers found by ladies since sway, part, opposes flowers, whole. This opposition is symbolic and therefore representative of the Freudian opposites of reversal and turning against the self. Angel Aura with me. The Invention of Unsurpassability. Of Hawaiian Sonnets and Other Poems. From Abraham's poem, The Wandering. Section 2. Descend red hot fruit. Red hunger fall. Red angel sitting enslaved weeping. A camel on the landscape eating dirt up. Nothing else to eat, rises with. People eating. The stubborn ones leave a water dish. Here. The people are burning. For a distant Egypt. Here go people evil. I see the camp erected. As the angel goes with the servants. Line 1. Descend red hot fruit. Definitions. Red is a hotness so eyes red are also eyes hot. Fruit is a descending so father descends. Line 2. Red hunger fall. Definitions. Falling is being hungry so fall time borders is also hunger time borders. Line 3. Red angel sitting enslaved weeping. Weeping is an enslavement so weeping on your arms is also enslaved on your arms. Line 4. A camel on the landscape eating dirt up. Eating is a landscape and drinking is a knowledge just as hunger is a slavery just as slavery is a limitation just as limit is a dancing head. Line 5. Nothing else to eat, rises with. People eating. Definitions. Nothing is arising while falling is a hunger so hunger and nothingness are opposites. Line 6. The stubborn ones leave a water dish. Here. The people are burning. For a distant Egypt. Leaving is a stubbornness while a giving is a soulfulness which makes stubbornness opposite soulfulness. Line 7. Here go people evil. Definitions. Here is a going to while there is a little rest such that going is a little rest. Likewise, here is a people while far is a rightness which makes these people evil not right, by definition. Line 8. I see the camp erected. As the angel goes with the servants. Definitions. Sight to see is to erect while blindness is a dish which means to erect opposes to dish out. And, serving is a going to, so that taking is a visiting and this makes visiting opposite going which is obvious. Angel honey with me. The Invention of Unsurpassability. Of Hawaiian Sonnets and Other Poems. From Abraham's poem, The Wandering. Section 3, with commentary. Ha! As if you experience it too. Would you battle on land the troops of steel? Your glory stripped, and you running to your love in order to make peace with the pain that lasts with every lick. It happens in spring, the destruction of the soul. By the watery knowledge of the old horde of heavenly puffs. The falcon old, high a staring, Is back up there. Has any power my wish? What life collaborates between us? An emergency herbal time? The eagle has a mean nose. In your seizures scattered. Lights swing out of smoky dreams. Nothing but a head of space. The apples now shallow. Swishing with other tree limbs alive, ha, ha. As if you, 3 and 1, 2, experience, 3 and 1, 2. The reader might now be wondering 3 and 1, 2 what is that? The answer is that on my hand am channeling my angel wife, Hopi, Thrickbit, and I translated the syllables of Ha. As if you, which is 4 syllables is 3, 1 syllable, and, 1 syllable, 1 syllable, 2, 1 syllable, that is ha. 3, as, and, if, 1, you, 2, I know exactly how to play this game, for it is a game Hope and I have been playing ever since we were married about 10 years ago. The game, Hopi's number game. She sends me 2 numbers in pulses, and then she will repeat the last one in a pulse, and I am to tell her by tapping my finger the beats of the first number. So 3 and 1, 2 is really 3 and 12, and I know she will pulse me 12 times, and I shall tap my finger 3 times. So here is how it relates to Hawaiian sonnets. I have said enough about interpretation good for now. This is my new idea. That she will tell me what the numbers are for the phrases and I will match the phrases instead of tapping, I will find the best phrase in my memory. Okay, 3 and 12 she just beat out 12, which is like a countdown for me to now tap 3 times, which I just did and the result of the 3 syllables is the phrase I am translating as pale drift dog. It too. Would you battle, 1 and 1, 2, 3, 4, or, 1 and 4, she tapped out 4, so I tapped 1, which I translate as love, the match for it too. Would you battle is love? On land the troops of steel? 5 and 1, 2, 3, or, 5 and 3, she is tapping 3 times, and so I am translating my own tapping, which is descend red hot fruit. Your glory stripped, and, 1, 5 and 1, 5, or, 1 and 5, which is, my tapping, hey, just once tapped, hey is the answer from Hey Hey Owl, which we saw earlier. You running, 1 and 3, Hope just tapped 3 times, and my answer once, is how, from how art you with law's shadows. To your love in order, 1, 2, the and 1, 2, or, 3 and 2, she is tapping 3 times, and I tap once, the translated answer is hey, again. To make peace with the pain, 1 and 1, 2, 3, or, 1 and 3, she taps 3 times, I once, it is hey, again. That lasts with every lick. 4 and 15, she taps 15, my tap of 4 yields the 4 syllables of the word Hawaii which is from the phrase Baby Hawaii. It happens in spring, 1 and 1, 2, 3, or, 1 and 3, she, 3, I, 1, and 1 is love, again. The destruction of the soul, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, or, 2 and 4 she, 4 and I, 2, which is the 2-syllabic word baby. By the watery knowledge, 1, 2 and 1, 2, 3, or, 2 and 3, she, 3, and I, 2, which is the 2-syllabic word early, from early you die. Of the old horde, 4 and 1, 2, is, 4 and 2, from now on I will just give my answer, but she will be tapping in pulses the first number as she has been, my answer which is only wandered. Of heavenly puffs. 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 and 4, yields of a flower. The falcon old, 2 and 15, love is. High a staring, 1 and 15, why? Is back up there. 2 and 5, early. Has any power my wish? 4 and 15, how are you with? What life collaborates between us? 4 and 16, in a flower. An emergency herbal time? 1 and 51, hey. The eagle has a mean nose. 1 and 11, 1. In your seizures scattered, 5 and 15, how art you with loss? Lights swing out of smoky dreams. 4 and 3, die in for a. Nothing but a head of space. 2 and 26, yes yes. The apples now shallow, 1 and 3, why? Swishing with, 1 and 10, take. Other tree limbs alive, ha. 5 and 4, stating, bent day, man. Angel thrickbut with me. The Invention of Unsurpassability. Of Hawaiian Sonnets and Other Poems. From Abraham's poem, The Wandering. Section 4, with commentary. Fight the rabbit, mother. Another annihilated day paused. Welcome thy spirit. Crawling eastward, the sun ringed. Checking thou patient splendor. The leaves are back. Horny sides staring, willing souls. Wife. Idly laying. Devarim bird. Bird. Yield to thy wandering. Sunken righteousness break. Cedar wood cut up. The former me religiously whenever. A wondrous fun voyage limited. With head dancing, farewell island. The flood of flowers found. By ladies. A time when the larks pace. The beasts are gravest. Say, say, say. Pound, pound. Weeping on their arms, on the curtains, the babe. Say one, dear. It's no secret. The frosted soul behind. The evening's tide, the walk of the moon. Hosts of stalks. The dancing wings of one saying. Fire. This commentary will be just an exuberance upon the first line. If I, blocked me, must imitate the originality of meaning of Hawaiian sonnets, I must follow the experience. Therefore, I, blocked me, must do as the first line says, to fight the rabbit, mother, hence to be like free me, the author who mothered Hawaiian sonnets, I must too change myself into a mother. But there is another line, a mother poet tells me, no. And I cannot tell myself no, I wish to tell myself yes to go on with writing with the same originality as Hawaiian sonnets. Therefore, the line, the jester best love flowers, yes and pop, will be considered. I must change into flowers or pop. There is next a line, a daffodil past its patience, so I will choose to change into a pop, a father. There is as a result the line, fatherhood reigns, removes dreams dry, but I don't wish to have my dreams removed dryly, so instead I will change into something wet. There next is the line, whether the water you pale drift dog, so if I am wet in water, I will be a drifting dog? No, I will change into a cat instead. There is a line I remember, on vacation the cat, on the job, on missions, and I must have that job. But there is a line, work or lurk, so I must do either. If I chose to work, I come up with the line work fury while all stall, and I do not wish for fury or that all stall, so I must, I suppose, lurk rather than work. If I lurk, then I must wander, but there is the line wander anonymous wisdom, and I do not wish to be anonymous and wise, so I will choose a wiser soul. I cannot be Achilles because of the line war Achilles king, wise not to be, I must change into a wiser man. I must be and therefore not be. Yet, there is a line, no white death, of answer be, so instead I must be for life with my answer. And, I must get emeth, but there is the line reigning is the life, so I do not wish to be rained out, I must change into a sunny one. Yes, there is the line, sunny you flow, so yes, I, you here, must flow, which is like a flood. However, there is the line a flood of flowers found by ladies, which makes it so that I must be found thus. But there is another line, nonsense reality find, and this is not good since I wish for a sensible reality, so on second thought I wish to change myself into somebody who makes themselves known, and not found. Then we are back to the line, no white death, of answer B. Now, what do I do? Angel Kelly with me. The Invention of Unsurpassability. Of Hawaiian Sonnets and Other Poems. From Abraham's poem, The Wandering. Section 5, with commentary. The robbers came not. These powers of morning, the names of our own friends doth put up mock upon our own paradise. The notes are sweet. Ah, and golden-haired. We have seen how Blocked Me is trying to change himself into things and objects throughout the structure of Hawaiian sonnets. But Hawaiian sonnets is meant to block him from copying its originality. In other words, the joke the angels and Free Me add was that it, Hawaiian sonnets and other poems, is so bad, it is good. It is bad that it prevents Blocked Me from writing better, but good that thee is a better reader of it as a result. And, now we come to the point in this study where a change is going to take place. Blocked Me is realizing that all he does to learn how to imitate and copy the originality of Hawaiian sonnets is being prevented. So in the last commentary, after he traveled down a path of the structure of Hawaiian sonnets, and it lead him to a closed loop, he believes that everything he will now on attempt will block him. However, he is still smart, and he knows that what he is doing has been wishing to play the game for good results. But, now he believes he may have found out a way to change things. He knows perfectly well the joke of the angels and free me was to make Hawaiian so bad, that it would be good. So what is Blocked Me to do? He wants to be his best, but he has been trying it by following the chain which thwarts every good effort he is making to outdo himself. What if he did the opposite? What if Blocked Me, still within the structure of Hawaiian sonnets, disguised himself as a new character, one who will seek not good results but bad results by a bad effort? Will seeking the badness turn things back to good? Perhaps it is worth a change, therefore Blocked Me will go under the disguise as Reprobanker Me. A reprobanker is one who is out of favor with God. But he will give it a shot, since his good efforts are designed to fail by the nature of the originality of Hawaiian sonnets and other poems. So let us watch Reprobanker Me, Blocked Me in disguise, as Reprobanker Me traces and tracks the worst he can do in order to get better. Better? Line 1, the robbers came not. Yes, Reprobanker Me says, I wish to be a robber, and I am here, so instead of coming not I must find out where the word here is in Hawaiian sonnets and see the link. Here is found in the line here go people evil. But no, Reprobanker is fine with evil and people since he is a person, but with go he has a problem, so he would rather stay and be a reprobanker. To stay Reprobanker Me find this line, of whether loved, we will stay, but he does not need love at all, because he knows the closed loop which will trap him in Hawaiian sonnets and further block him. So instead of love he will shoot for its opposite, hate. In the line hued heart hated as our fear of blisters, is hate found. Yet, he thinks he can do worse, which is for him a chance to get good, if the joke holds true which Free Me and the angels had, Hawaiian sonnets is so bad, it is good. Therefore, he needs to find a replacement for the heart which is a good thing. Reprobanker Me's choice for the replacement of heart is but. Next, but is found in the line terrible, but, TV Shiba cycles. Yet, all but Shiba is needed to be bad, which is the goal in our tracing. Reprobanker Me's replacement for Shiba is the opposite of a good queen, a bad king who happens to be Agamemnon. Agamemnon is found in the line, hell up, Agamemnon trucker. What poem will? All this is right for Reprobanker Me, but poem which is the very best object of desire which blocked me, now Reprobanker Me in disguise, which he coveted. So instead of poem Reprobanker Me will go further and choose the very worst option to replace a poem which is a Platonists, who are those who wish to banish the poets from a perfect society. Platonists are found in the line, prevalent Platonists. The sunken, that I am. All here is right for Reprobanker Me, but I am which represents the name of God, I am that I am. Therefore, he will choose devil as his replacement. Vine devil of well, power is the line where he is finding himself now. What is a vine devil, he wonders. That's a gossip vine. But, he would rather it not have power, but be weak. Therefore, his plan is to plot the weakness out by replacing the power with idleness. The line, idle drunks rich in feeling, is where idle is. Is it perfect for Reprobanker Me to begin to develop a rule for badness? Perhaps so. Therefore, he will state his first rule. Rule 1 of Reprobanker Me, be rich, be drunk, be idle, and feel these experiences to their extreme. Angel Jennifer with me. The Invention of Unsurpassability. Of Hawaiian sonnets and other poems. From Abraham's poem, The Wandering. Section 6, with commentary. Knock, knock, knock. One time knock. Bathing. Lass in the dusk all clear standing. Brightens up the tide. The sand is grey and green. Poor Lady Moon. Shadowing the poppy. Words. Reasons. Against chanted jolly. Heavily sick. Thus sick not for long. Sore soul, a sore soul. A spirit thins. On a secret walk. Rhino norward rainbow. Milk still. Holly path great. Proud holly. The weeds innocently taken noiselessly. Holly of the Moon. Deep Road. Book of Ice Myself Self-Readings. Weeds, wolves, patient. Thousands chosen to tell them. Who to call the room, in questions falling. Bringing to you raspberries for the feast, sad, for me. Thither clear.